Are you ready for some laughs? This is an absurd tale. One kick and everyone was sent flying. Others joined in, sparking a chaotic fight, with the black dog outside fearing its own might loose. He soared through the air and smashed through the window like a superhero, and by the time the door opened, someone and their dog had cleaned up. The man, Erlang, just out of prison, was on his way home by bus when a pack of wild dogs flipped it over. Luckily, no one was hurt, but a guy was shouting he lost $1,000, which was his lifesaver. He inquired around. No one had seen anything. When Erlang tried to leave, the man stopped him, insisting they wait for the police to avoid trouble. The police arrived and started a thorough investigation. But they discovered Erlang's identity. Turns out he was somewhat famous for leading a band in town. He won several awards, but clashed with a local gang, sending one off a cliff. He got into big trouble and spent over a decade in jail. Naturally, the police kept a close eye on him. They took him to the precinct, busy chasing a dog that allegedly bit and might be rabid. The broadcast offered a $1,000 reward for catching the black dog. Others were treated well, but Erlang was searched. They didn't find anything suspicious on him, so he was sent home. After 10 years in prison, Erlang had completely transformed. He was no longer that spirited young man. He's become taciturn, expressionless, speaking only when necessary, not just from prison awkwardness, but a loss of faith in the world. A decade had passed and the town wasn't thriving. It had regressed to its former dilapidation, with overgrown streets and crumbling buildings. Many old shops still exist. Erlang ate at a noodle shop and felt nostalgic. On TV, they were broadcasting preparations for the Olympics, claiming there would be a once-in-a-century total solar eclipse during the games. That's some pretty cool astronomical phenomenon. In the noodle shop, someone recognized Erlang and began whispering about him. After eating, Erlang tried to pay, but the owner said his money was expired. The owner smiled, offering a free meal. After he came out, he sought a restroom spot, only to meet the notorious black dog. It looked fierce. But when Erlang picked up a stick, the dog didn't chase him. Instead, it was more concerned about claiming its turf. Looks like this was its territory. He continued on home, only to find he couldn't open his door. His neighbor told him that, since he had been sent to prison, his father had changed the locks. Subsequently, the neighbor returned to the house to fetch a key for Erlang, and also informed him that his father had relocated to the zoo in town. Back home, everything remained unchanged. In the yard, he uncovered his beloved motorcycle, still pristine. This made Erlang smile. Suddenly, he heard a loud crash outside, something like someone throwing bricks from above. Honestly, without looking, he knew it was someone he'd chased, now near death's door. Whenever he thought about all this, he felt wrong because he was only chasing him for the money. But that led to the guy's death. The pit wasn't even that deep. He didn't want to explain because he knew no one would listen anyway. However, he didn't want to run away because he knew this was his home. Reluctantly, he turned around and decided to go back inside, ignoring everything else. The next day, Erlang hopped on his motorcycle and headed to the zoo, thinking about seeing his dad, but when he got there, he hesitated. Then he climbed to the top of a nearby hill to catch a glimpse of his dad, but in the end, he couldn't muster the courage to go see him. Later, Erlang went to the market to open a shop and met his classmate from the police station, who invited him into the car. Hey, do you think our small town has changed a lot? Definitely. A lot of places have disappeared. They are saying it's all planned for a remodel. Even the theater where we used to perform is getting demolished, and the zoo is likely closing down too. Do you remember our old homeroom teacher? He's turned into a stray dog now. This town is hard to describe. The dogs are running rampant everywhere. Life has really taken a turn for the worse. It used to be prosperous and resource-rich here, but now it's just a disaster zone. Eventually, Erlang was taken back to the precinct where his cop friend warned him he couldn't leave town unless there was a special reason. He also had to come back regularly to give thought reports. They then helped him get an ID. Who would have thought this would actually happen? Erlang's old theatre troupe had already shut down. However, he wanted to try his luck for a living, and coincidentally met an old acquaintance. That person learned Erlang was looking to open a net cafe but didn't think it'd work out, sweet talking without offering any real help. but he wouldn't even chip in a dime. Erlang didn't say much, he was used to this already. But life goes on, it's really not easy to get by. When he went to buy cigarettes, he realized he was short on cash and had to return them. With no other choice, he turned to his sister for help. When the call went through, he couldn't speak up until she mentioned the house's demolition payout. Erlang knew further talk was pointless. At that moment, he spotted the wanted black dog. Realizing catching it could earn him $1,000, he decided to take action. He was on a mission. He went home to gather some tools and then returned to the abandoned lot where he'd seen the dog. But that black dog was no easy catch. After a few moments, he found himself completely outmatched and could only leave empty-handed, not that he had any rabies shot. In the end, he managed a hasty band-aid solution, but thankfully, his cop friend remembered him and informed him of a new dog-catching defense squad form. Let me know if that monkey finds you. If you see anything, tell me right away. The defense team is basically a dog-catching squad. We meet up at the restaurant at night. The squad leader asked Erlang to introduce himself, but he stayed silent. The veteran officer jumped in to ease the tension for him. They all sat down for a drink, but Erlang barely took a sip. Some folks weren't having it, telling him to either drink more or hit the road. With no choice, Erlang downed the drink whether he'd get famous or not was up for grabs.